Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Black Mirror 2. Now this always is the case. We spent last recording, not all 45 minutes, but at least 20 minutes, wandering around, clicking on everything, exhausting everything, and I was just left with no clue on what to do. And that's crazy because the game itself has an in-game clue system, and it still wasn't really working for me. Turns out that we've been looking for magazines to get photos out of the magazine, to get the lady to think that Fuller is an actual good photographer, so she'll call Fuller and get him out of his shop, so then we can move the story forward, which, according to the walkthrough that I looked on online, looks like at best we're 1/4 of the way done with the story. And this hotspot detector just doesn't really work because there's no background here. And it's pretty easy to just have a flickering magnifying glass just not be visible. So I don't even know, is there only 2 on screen right now, or are there some other places where I could actually click? And I bet this isn't the only time this happens. However, now I know the magazines are here. I've been past this area multiple times, and I actually thought that there would be magazines here. I just thought they would kind of be down here, or somewhere around here, and I just overlooked it. Which often is a problem in point-and-click adventure games, as you overlook things because the items don't stand out.
A few glossies and a health magazine. Oh well. I'll take the fashion magazine here. Oh, and the auto magazine.
So, now that we have that, we can go back to the souvenir store. Unless I'm supposed to do something different. I think I'm just gonna throw these magazines to her, and that will move the story forward. Way too difficult. Just because I overlooked something.
Look, I've got a few of Fuller's earlier works.
Really? Show me! Which pictures are by him?
Oh, that one there. Oh, and there too. Oh, and here's another one. Exactly. Yeah, that one here.
Do they
They're
not
really
label
wonderful.
the photographers
It
in
was all
magazines?
just for the money. In reality,
Maybe they
he's an
don't.
artist, you see. But the project here in Biddeford is his real passion. Living incognito amongst us common folks, working on his masterpiece. Can you imagine what an effort it must have been for such a cultivated and refined man like Fuller to play a primitive, stinking, sweaty asshole?
That's true art.
You should call him. He could photograph you in your car up on the cliff top.
Now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got to hurry, my lady. I've got a deadline to meet in
Milady.
Dallas, you see.
Oh, of course. I'll call from my car phone and arrange a photo shoot.
Oh, excellent. Oh, but don't let him realize that you know his true identity. Who knows what that'd do to his artistic spirit.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Shall we meet here again this evening?
Agreed.
Just weirdly written dialogue. It does not feel like the writer
Unbelievable.
is a native English speaker.
That's a postcard of Biddeford. But I first want to see if Fuller has really left the store. I ought to go straight there.
So apparently I can't fast travel now. I have to just walk. The car is gone because the lady took it.
And there he goes. Now I ought to have a few hours to get Angelina's film and develop some pictures in the darkroom.
Of course, I still have to get in the place. And what about his mother?
There's a notice hanging on the door. Back soon.
I wonder if his mother
Locked.
might be dead.
But I bet that Fuller hasn't checked the back door.
Like, that wouldn't be surprising if she wasn't actually... It's like a Norman Bates scenario. Somebody needs to die in this story really quick. This is just out of characterization at this point from the first game. There was a guy that died in the first cutscene of Black Mirror 1. So I didn't have to do any work to get in. That's shocking. I don't know what I'm doing with the laxative stuff now.
Alright, let's see.
We're breaking into a safe for
Okay.
no reason.
I know I need to enter 5 numbers. I should be able to hear if the lock clicks into place with the stethoscope. When it does, then you need to turn it in the other direction afterwards. But I need to get a move on. Fuller's had a clock built into it, so there's a time limit.
So is this a mini game of sort? Okay, now what do I do? It was 90. 90. 90. So it's right click. Like, I don't know which sound effects here mean what. Like, if I'm supposed to hear a sound effect and then go in a different direction.
That was the 5th number, but nothing's happening. The combination must be wrong. From the beginning again. The first number... It might be that Fuller put the film of Angelina's pictures in the safe before he drove off to his shoot.
It feels like the solution to the combination should be on the map. And Arizona...
A greasy map of the world. My World Tour is written next to it.
Like,
A few
if these
places
were
are marked. The
latitude...
USA, around Utah, Arizona. Then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt. Then China.
Like, I don't understand how that would make sense or work with the save. Either... I guess this is the first thing we're gonna have to do before anything else, though.
Alright.
And the question is, how much time
Okay.
do I want to spend on this?
I know I need to enter 5 numbers. I should be able to hear if the lock clicks into place with the stethoscope.
So,
When it does, then you need to turn it in the other direction afterwards. But I need to get a move on. Fuller's had a clock built into it, so there's a time limit.
because the game didn't explain that right click and left click went different directions, I guess we just go right click, and then left click, then right click, then left click, then right click, and then left click, right click. So 70, 20, 30, 90, 50. Seems like only some of these sound effects are the right one. 70, 20.
That was the 5th number, but nothing's happening. The combination must be wrong. From the beginning again. The first number...
I don't get it. I literally do not get what I'm missing on this.
Alright. Okay,
skip
but I need
this.
to get a move on.
Alright. Load into this. Left click. $90. 50. 70.
Hey, that sounds good.
I guess I got it to work. I don't know what I did specifically to get that to work, but whatever.
Yes, there you go.
I'm not sure the game didn't just take pity on me. In that case, playing multiple sound effects as the click is just ridiculous.
Aha, a film cartridge. Those will be the photos of Angelina. Well, apart from that, there's just a few papers, a folder, and, whoa, a pistol. I'd better leave everything where it is. As soon as I've developed the pictures and made copies, I'll pay Angelina a visit in the hotel. I could really do with a bit of a distraction. Alright, now I've got everything I need to develop the films. Let's go.
You can quickly scroll through your objects using a tutorial message here that we haven't seen tutorial message. I'm gonna go ahead and save just because of the fact that the introduction of a pistol introduces that small possibility that there might be a way I die before the story is finished, like in Black Mirror 1. Seriously, I want to go down to the basement more than anything else, though. Fifth rope. Fourth rope. First rope. Okay, second rope. So each one of these is the world tour of where we were gonna go. So Monument Valley, and then I think the beach, and then the castle, and then the Sphinx, and then the Great Wall of China. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But yeah, right now we may get in there and the door may be locked anyways. It says Arizona, Hawaii, so Monument Valley, the beach.
A greasy map of the world.
What does this say?
My World Tour is written next to it.
Europe is
A few
last.
places are marked. The USA, around Utah, Arizona. Then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt. Then China, and then Europe. Looks like somewhere in Germany.
Okay. So I know what I did wrong. So the backdrop machine is somehow very intriguingly configured. Where Fuller is getting this technology is questionable, certainly. Like, how is he able to hide all this stuff and get these secret puzzles? So it's Monument Valley, then the beach, then the Sphinx, then the Great Wall of China, and then finally the castle.
That's got it. The clips are off and the screen's gone up.
I'll look at the floorboards now for the
This place in the floor has
like
definitely
20th
got
time.
something to do with Fulla's secret door. But right now I've got more important things to do than snoop around after Fulla. A heavy metal door. You can see quite clearly that it's been set into the wall at some later date. I have to ask myself just what Fulla's hiding behind there. It can't be anything good. No chance. There's nothing moving here. I guess I have to type in the correct number into the numeric pad.
Okay, so I have no number to type in there. That sucks. But at least we made a little bit of progress in the future movement. His camera's missing, of course, because he would have taken it with him. We could also rip him off. And I guess the trick here is we're going to find that what is in this camera is not what we think is in this camera. Alright, so photo developer and the developer dish. We've been
That's
holding
enough.
on to all of this
Developer
garbage.
also has to be diluted.
I feel like some of this stuff needed to very much just not be pick-upable until this point. So we dilute
Great.
it.
Just as it should be. A dish with about half an inch of diluted developer.
Fixer in, I don't know where the fixer goes. Let's put distilled water in the water dish.
That would be the stop bath.
Okay. And do we put the fixer in the developer container?
First, I have to develop the film before I can fix it.
Okay. So film canister in the developer dish. Nope. Film canister in the developer canister.
The film is in the developing drum. The developer's still missing.
So do I put more developer in the developer container?
Good. Now the developer's oxidizing. It gives off electrons, which are then picked up by the silver ions in the light-sensitive layer of the film. The more light that falls on a location, the stronger the reaction. And so the place then turns darker. In short, the film is now being developed.
Apparently there's a timing element to this.
Okay, I guess the film has to be developed now.
So, enlarger.
Basically, it's just a powerful lamp with a lens in front of it. A bit like a slide projector, or something similar.
So we need a photo paper probably on that.
An A4 size package. Fairly heavy. Either it really is photographic paper, or it's full as dirty mags for the week. Ah, nice. 50 sheets of top quality photo paper.
So, we opened the package. We couldn't open that until we were in the dark room. I guess we put that on the enlarger.
The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly.
So are we supposed to develop this?
So, that ought to do it. I'll pour out the developer.
One assumes you can't screw this up.
Now the fixer's gotta go in to stop the film from keeping on developing.
Okay. He's walking us through this quite nicely.
Oh well, that's the end of the fixer. But what was left ought to have stopped the development process. I hope everything's worked.
So take this.
So far, so good.
So that should be the negatives. We should
The
be
film's developed. That's the first step. Now I have to make the prints. Let's see. I need photo paper and an enlarger. That's over there. Then I need developer. There's still enough in the bottle.
So do we just put this in the enlarger and then put the photo paper and the developer in the water bath? I guess we're getting
The film has been put in.
partial class on how to develop film. In 2018, unfortunately, they don't make film cameras anymore at all. No company that I know of. The last one, Canon, has stopped making them.
Then let's have a go. The longer I leave the lamp on, the more contrast the picture gets.
There is an
Let's
argument
try.
that film camera should still exist, but you know, digital has far superseded it in quality. Am I supposed to?
Okay, I think that's enough time.
Was I supposed to listen to the clicks and click it right after that point? Alright, so now we have exposed sheet of paper. Do we put it in the developer dish? That makes sense. I don't know what this does.
Ah, here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark.
So I guess I'm just grabbing it. And I screwed it up. Well, I didn't screw it up. Well, picture in the water dish.
Huh. The picture's got too much contrast and is too dark. I need to expose the paper less and the next time pull the paper out of the developer earlier.
Alright, attempt number 2.
The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly.
This feels like a puzzle specifically designed by a photo nerd. Meanwhile, for everyone else, it's an uninteresting development. So I'm gonna listen for the clicks, and then as soon as the third click, I'm gonna stop.
Okay then, let's try again. I have to measure the exposure time exactly. Too short and there won't be enough contrast. Too long will give me too much.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, I think that's enough time.
So it wants 10 seconds, or at least the timer is saying 10 seconds. And then this. And we'll see how this looks this time.
Ah, here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark.
So I'm thinking now. And we'll see what happens here. Honestly, at this point, I'd just skip this.
Huh. The picture's got too much contrast. But the brightness is good. I shouldn't expose the paper for so long next time.
So I got one of the things right, but the other wrong. So not 10 seconds. Let's go with 5 seconds then.
The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the papers. Okay then, let's try.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I think that's enough time.
We'll see what it says at least. Then it seems like it really only needs about 3 seconds. Yeah.
Here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark.
See, that looks a lot better than what I had before. So the system seems to be slightly working to actually show us something similar to what it would really look like, instead of just showing some fake.
The contrast is good and the brightness is right too. But the picture itself is garbage. I can't do much about that. Maybe some of the other pictures are better. Well, at least the exposure and development times seem to be right. I'll try it again.
At this point, I'd just like the game to skip me forward. I don't see a reason to be forced to do this.
The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly.
This really seems like a waste of my time. I don't have any film, so one assumes it's just going to change the negative itself.
Okay then, let's try again. I have to measure the exposure time exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I think that's enough time.
And like, I don't know how many of these we're gonna have to do. This feels like a Nintendo style of gameplay. Prove you know the pattern.
Here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness.
Like,
Too
even
early, it stays too
a
light.
perfect player
Too late, it'll
would
get
be
too dark.
hearing the same dialogue over and over again. It just looks like it's the same picture. What am I doing wrong? Why didn't it switch?
Yes, I've really got it now. Brightness and contrast are correct. If Fuller only had any idea about photography, then maybe even the picture would be good too. Maybe the next one. This could well take some time.
Oh, so you had to do it twice.
36 pictures and not one of them actually any good. How can a guy take a beautiful woman like Angelina and then photograph her so badly? But I can't do much about that. The pics have been snapped and I gotta take them to her at the hotel. At least I get to see her again. And it's also not my fault that the pictures are bad. What the?
Well, just answer the door. As if you work there. Most people probably don't know you don't. You work
Mrs.
there.
Biba? Can I help you, Mrs. Biba?
Oh. What are you doing here? I thought you quit.
Yes. Yes, I have. I'm just picking up my stuff.
Oh, right. Is Fuller there?
No, not at the moment.
Then, can you give him this? give it to him personally. As soon as he gets back, I gotta go.
It'd be an interesting twist if it turns out Fuller is actually, like, doing something nice and he's trying to help Miss Biba document that she's being abused by her husband.
I feel sorry for her. There's something not right going on here.
Let's go ahead and open the envelope.
Could it help me get one over on Fuller? Huh. But I can't put Mrs. Biba in danger. She gives the impression she can't take much more. If I could secretly open the envelope, then I could look at what's inside and put the envelope in the mailbox later. That would keep Mrs. Biba out of trouble. But how can I open the envelope and close it again without Fuller noticing?
Well, I can steam it open, certainly, at my mother's house. Let's see. We've got a light box here, which we can look at.
It works.
I don't think there's any actual negatives or anything to interact with right now. We can look at the tripod. But until we get that 10-digit code, we can't do anything more.
That's just the tripod. Of course, Fuller took his camera with him to the photo shoot with that bimbo.
So we can't do anything in the basement. And I don't think we can do anything more here. There's this boots and cuckoo clock. So if there was like a time I was supposed to set. A hexagonal hole.
A cheapo old-time cuckoo clock. A testament to Fuller's fine taste for stylish interior decoration. Hey, there's a small opening. I could easily fit my finger in there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right move.
If Fuller had bought one of those trendy angular pens with 4 different colors in it, it might actually work.
Do we have anything else that looks like it might fit in this hole? No, I don't. Okay. So we're gonna come back. Let me ask a question here. If I had taken the camera and tried to use it, for instance, on this world map, would I have been able to take a picture? No. It almost feels like the game should let me take photos every now and then to allow for some saving and screenshots. I guess in the save menus you're getting slight screenshots, so that could be slightly helpful. I certainly tried to play some at least one Scum VM game. I was playing Riven using the Scum VM emulator virtual machine. It's not really an emulator, but it would take screenshots, but the screenshots were not accurate enough to actually show me the information I was trying to.
The water isn't boiling yet.
To memorize or not
memorize.
memorize.
The glue. Let's try.
Of course.
It's steaming.
How am I gonna re-glue it?
The steam's loosening the glue. Got it. The paper hasn't torn and the glue still sticks. I can reseal the letter. But first, I want to see what's inside. Holy, that's gotta be $1,500. There's some kind of blackmailing going on here. Mrs. Biba hates Fuller, and she didn't want her husband to see that I gave her a letter from him this morning. It would seem he knows nothing about it. But what's it about? Sex? Oh, surely not with Fuller. Something to do with the diner, or from Biba's past? I'd love to send Fuller off to jail for blackmail. But first I gotta find out what he's blackmailing Mrs. Biba with. But tomorrow's another day. I'll put the letter in Fuller's mailbox and get myself ready for my date with Angelina.
So, yeah, we've got all of this stuff And a lot of it we haven't used, a lot of it we did use. Some of it we're going to apparently reuse. Some of it we're not. Clearly the teapot, I guess, is staying where it is. So, can I now just fast travel here and do this? I guess that'll work. Broken.
Hopefully he doesn't take too much pleasure in it.
Not. I was gonna call this Broken Sword, but no. Black Mirror 1 had a lot of this too, where you were investigating a past that really didn't play too much into the story. Speaking of Black Mirror, I guess it's only fair to mention that I've watched up to season 3 of Black Mirror, the Netflix TV series, and didn't particularly like any of them. Some of the episodes were alright, certainly not bad. There's a Philip K. Dick series on Amazon Prime in comparison that the entire season I've seen of that, I watched all of that, and every single episode. That was horrible. And Black Mirror is much better than that, but honestly, I don't think there's been a great sci-fi anthology series made since The Twilight Zone, and holding it up to such an extremely high standard in a series that went on long enough to cover almost every topic. Nothing new has really done it that well. Arguably, you could say maybe Star Trek and other fantasy series cover some of those ideas episode to episode, but then that stops being an anthology series, actually, and starts becoming just a regular, like, singular story series. We finally make it to the hotel. Finally. Let's see what we can click on. We've got cars, we've got flagpole, we've got something coast, we've got the veranda, we've got the entrance, we've got a window, we've got the West Coast Hotel.
Plenty of people say that the New England coastal towns look Scandinavian, but I doubt if they build such big houses over there.
Let's try to exhaust everything
was
here.
Purposely built as a hotel. It's too big for an ordinary house. The owners probably live in some of the rooms. The majority are rented out.
Let's look at the cars.
The hotel seems to have few guests, but in this season you'd normally expect a bit more to be going on. Maybe the others have seen the weather report. There's a storm getting up, and who wants to be stuck in a hotel on the Atlantic in the rain? Both cars have Maine plates, so maybe they aren't even guests, or maybe they're rental cars.
Let's see, look in the window. This hotel certainly can't function as a replacement for Black Mirror. Although the castle
seems to be an office.
in Black Mirror
Desks, files.
didn't work very good either. Apparently I can do something.
I don't really like to climb into other people's houses. Well, not without a good reason.
Probably could get a
The
flag
mast
from
is a
the
copy of a
souvenir shop.
flagpole you might see on a big ship.
And put a new flag
You often
on.
get stormy weather coming off the Atlantic, along with powerful gusts of wind. If the hotel owner ain't quick, he can go look for his flags in Canada.
Yeah, I don't think we're going any further. This road almost implies that you could just continue up the coast of Maine.
It's not exactly like the Florida or Californian beaches. The water here is way too cold to swim in it for long. I'm not climbing down there without a good reason.
So I'm just trying to exhaust everything before
Nothing
we
to
go
find.
in. And we have the veranda, the last thing to click before we go in.
Looks very cozy. I bet you get a fantastic view of the whales from the veranda. But you know, that reminds me of my favorite film, Whales of August. That genius Vincent Price. In a really unusual role.
I wonder if we're gonna get in here and find that the lady is killed.
Looks very cozy.
Be nice.
I
Somebody
bet you get a
needs
fantastic view of the whales.
We need to
from
move the
veranda.
story
But you know,
forward.
that reminds me of my favorite film, Whales of August.
So we get that twice in a row. Doesn't seem like there's anything else on the screen to click on. The only real hurry or motivation to do anything right now is because we found a small mystery as our mother passed out. Let's see. We did all of this, but only half of it's scratched out. Let's look here and see how much of the game we've already accomplished. I'm just gonna click everything that had a hint on it so we can see how this all would break down. It's very odd how this whole book seems to just be kind of randomized. Draw Fuller out of the store. I think we accomplished that. Again, his scribbling extremely inconsistent, which implies to me a level of insanity. Like, nobody checks through things, scribbles through things, writes it one way and writes it a different way. So we're still trying to do this quest, and maybe, let's see, are we trying to do any of the other quests? No, it seems like this would be the right point to get very close to wrapping up this first act. Like, maybe Fuller isn't blackmailing Biba. Maybe he's taking the money and holding it on to her so she can divorce her husband or run away. Like, he doesn't
There are pictures
feel
of
like a
ships
character
everywhere.
like that, but
Either the hotel
that
owner
would be
has a
an
real
interesting
maritime
twist.
interest or thinks that his guests want to see that kind of thing. There are a few magazines lying around here. Recommendations for trips,
that's
tourist
almost
information.
insult to injury.
Nothing of interest to me.
After all the struggle to find the magazines in the hospital. We've got a plant.
Plants. I know as much about plants as I do about cars, and that's not very much at all.
We've got a private area. We've got a porter, a key, and Angelina's room. I'm having real trouble remembering her name, by the way. Let's just talk to the porter.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Mother Hotel Poker Game. Oh, I guess this is where the blind guy lost his cane too. So we have a side goal, I guess, of getting the cane back, but that's not even listed under the tasks.
You know my mother? Rebecca Michaels?
Rebecca? Well, of course. We sit together on the tourist board. You're her son? How is she?
Not good, I'm afraid. She's lying in the hospital. She had a fall.
Oh, my dear boy. That's... I'll let my wife know right away. We'll send her a card.
Well, if you like.
So what are you doing here then? Shouldn't you be with your mother?
I'm gonna go see her again later.
Well, please give her our best wishes.
Yes, of course.
Unnecessary dialogue.
Does the hotel belong to you?
It sure does. My grandfather built it, and I've been running it for the past 15 years.
Do you live here with your family?
It's like this. The guests value the quiet family atmosphere here. It really is something quite special to stay in a small, family-run hotel. I can't bear those awful tower block hotels in the holiday resorts.
And at some point your children will take over the running of it?
Yes, I hope so. My daughter's studying to be a hotelier in Switzerland.
So we might go to
I only hope
Switzerland.
that our hotel here doesn't end up being too small and provincial for her. My son, well, he's got rather different interests.
What's he doing then?
Now, he's a musician.
Really?
Yes. He even thinks he can make a living out of it.
Some people live very nicely from it. What does he play?
He plays an electric bass in a band. I think it's called punk rock.
And you're worried about that?
Alright, one more thing I can ask him about.
I've heard that you have poker games here every now and again. Could I maybe sit in on a game?
I ask you, please. This is a respectable hotel. We don't condone illegal gambling.
So I'm gonna have to prove that the poker game is happening or sneak in.
I'd like to get back into playing poker. I'd be interested in a blind man's white cane as a bet.
Yes, nice. We sometimes play a little game or two of poker here, but nothing public, quite private. Never for high stakes.
Wouldn't you say that for a blind man, a white cane would be quite a high stake?
He wanted to bet with it.
So I guess we can continue to press this.
You know what? I think I'll inform the police about your game. I mean, that can't be right now, can it? You can't take a cane away from a blind man.
Well, go ahead and call the cops. I've got nothing to hide. I won the cane fair and square. You can ask the other players.
If you say so.
So I'm just clicking the same thing over and over again. It's kind of dull gameplay.
So what was that again about the fair and square win in an illegal gambling game in a respected local hotel? What would Rosie think if I told her about it? What would other people think, in fact? Taking the cane from a blind man. What a devious, slimy character you are.
No, please, don't do that. I am sorry. I really didn't want the cane, you know. Eddie just didn't have any more dough with him, and he threw it in as a guarantee.
How much did he stake on it, then?
Oh, it's not worth talking about. What's $100 anyway? You seeing him today? I could give you the cane. Give him my best, and tell him he can consider it a gift from a good old friend.
So we get the cane back.
Well, great. I'll take it with me and pass it on to Eddie then.
And give your mother my best when she wakes up.
Yeah.
So we've got yet another thing in our inventory. We added the cane, we added copies of different photos that all look the same. We eliminated a few items. We started this episode having to look through a walkthrough. Good news is I don't feel a real need to look through the walkthrough right now. According to this, I don't think I really have any other tasks to do except for the one task that just happens to be in the middle, which is deliver the photos to Angelina. I'm stretching it out, trying to have a generally average experience, something that you would expect most players to actually do. So I'll try the private room next recording. But I wouldn't be surprised if we walk into some kind of scene. I would very much appreciate, actually, if we walked into Angelina's room, found her being attacked, having been attacked, having been killed, and that moves us forward to a more important mystery than what we have right now, because the mystery we're researching right now is kind of nothing. It's barely a mystery at all. It's just delivering the photos to Angelina for no reason, with maybe some hints in the dialogue of maybe there's something going on with B-Bud. Maybe there's something that we'll get to the bottom of with Carrie. But none of it really relates to the here and now. So there's no urgency in anything. Also, we know this game is going to go into flashbacks, so if he walked in the room and got hit in the back of the head and then the whole game just changed to a flashback for an entire act, I'd be okay with that too. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, you can gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.